Stage 1 starts the journey of a future demo main. They start off enthusiastic and curious, but more or less harmless. They may have first tried some of the more familiar classes like Scout and Soldier, but nothing felt quite right until they stumbled across the Demo Man. The Demolitions guy is always good fun, whatever the game, so they suspect that they're going to get loads of kills and do tons of damage with this class. However, at this stage they have very little understanding of how any of his weapons actually work. They will primarily use the grenade launcher and simply aim in the general vicinity of the enemies, literally just holding down M1, hoping that maybe some of their rollers might do some splash damage. The reason they haven't explored the sticky bomb launcher yet is because they have no idea how it works. At this stage, they may feel like they're getting the hang of it quite quickly, sometimes getting accidental kills, but in reality, they are truly useless, which is evident by their horrendous KD ratio. At this point, the prospective demo main has learnt the power of the right click. They have become the epitome of the M1M2 sticky spammer. For a few weeks, the grenade launcher will be put to one side entirely to gather dust. It's a horrible sight to behold, but every demo main must go through this stage. They gravitate towards the horrifically choky maps such as Dust Bowl and Gold Rush, and they start to feel like they are a god at the game.
Hi, do you have an opening for a pro demo man? Yeah, I'm looking for maybe an invite team just to slide into.
Nothing makes them happier than seeing a group of players close together that they can spam into to do tons of damage. Despite finding some success, as soon as they are confronted by a remotely competent player, they are immediately destroyed. They are also rendered completely useless on the control point game mode and on any maps that are far too open for their spammy playstyle. They also do not have the first clue when it comes to defending themselves against scouts, who will rush them and click twice on their face and murder them over and over again. They will start to see the term sticky spammer and M1M2 thrown in chat, and although they pretend not to care, somewhere deep down this will start to influence their transition to stage 3. At this stage, the budding demo main decides that they want to get better at their chosen class, and so they decide to start watching guides and gameplay from other players. Demo Man for Dummies. Get good. That's it. Start reading. Okay. They start to realise that perhaps they still have a lot to learn. At last, they start to properly explore laying traps. They start to trap objectives, choke points, health packs, often using far more stickies than are needed and often wasting far too much time just staring at the traps waiting for someone to come along. Yes, I get it now, so I make traps. I'm going to make the best traps with all... Unfortunately, it's at this stage they also discover the spawn camp and will not be able to resist its offering for free kills. And they will also get a little overzealous with the use of a certain taunt. They also suddenly realise that the demo man can actually charge stickies by holding down left click, firing them 230% faster and much further, and they will become mildly embarrassed that it took them this long to learn about this feature. Wait, how did that go so far? Wait, is that a bar in the bottom right? Wait, you can hold down the button? Is this like an up? Oh god, has that always been there? At this stage, they're also taking their first baby steps towards utilising their sticky bomb launcher for mobility. However, because they're still quite new to this technique, they will often use too many stickies or launch themselves way too high. And this means that they can often be found walking around the map with very low health, meaning they're even more vulnerable to those pesky scouts. At stage 4, the player is a somewhat established demo main. They have conditioned themselves to think and behave purely as a projectile-based class, and therefore any attempt to explore hit scan ends in disappointment. They have now learned to resist the urge to immediately detonate every single sticky bomb as soon as possible, and they've started to actually understand that leaving a sticky bomb on the floor can be really useful to help influence a fight. At this stage, the demo main has started to fulfill their role as the arch nemesis of the engineer, and at the beginning of every game, they make it their mission to seek down and destroy enemy buildings. They have also started to embrace Ubers and get an incredible sense of satisfaction satisfaction as they demolish entire NG nests. At this point, they are now able to sticky jump more effectively, and so they will start to go on insane flanks, usually to attack the enemy's NG nests from better angles. They've also worked out that on some maps they can actually go straight for the enemy's teleporter entrance for the big brain play, and they think they are literally the first person to have ever thought of this. Oh my god, I'm a genius. Just jump past the entire team and go all the way around. I think I might be a genius. I'm gonna have to make a Reddit post. Oh wait, what? At stage 4, they are also starting to look the part, and of course their Steam profile is starting to look the part too. At stage 5, the demo main will start to turn their attention to other weapons available to them. One of the first weapons they will try is the loose cannon because, well, it's literally a cannon. They will also check out the lock and load, but usually switch back before long, realising that they have now completely ruined their aim. They will of course also explore the potential of the Scottish resistance, desperately trying to keep track and manage the 5 traps they've carefully laid around them, to no avail. Okay, so I've got a trap there, I've got a trap over there as well. Remember this, we're going to lay another one in. Can I just detonate this one? Okay, but we're going to refill that trap over there, it's going to be fine. They will even explore some of the less conventional weapons such as the caber and the base jumper, generally trying all sorts of strange combinations which don't really make much sense and are completely unviable. But most importantly, there will inevitably be a time in the demo main's life when they grow curious about that other kind of demo man. The one with the big sword. Maybe they get tired of being so vulnerable at close range, perhaps they get killed by one too many scouts, whatever the case may be, every demo man enters the Dark Ages at some point. They will find Demo Knight a refreshing change and have a great time collecting heads, trying out trimping and feeling awesome as they zoom around with the Eyelander. Up until this point, the journey of the Demo and Demo Knight may be very similar, but this is where there's a fork in the road and a choice must be made. Some embrace the life of the sword, embracing the life of head-taking and sentry gun loathing. But that's the story of the Demo Knight main, and that deserves a video of its own. Some choose the path of Hybrid Knight too, sacrificing their stickies for a powerful mobility option and a way to escape almost any situation. But the majority will end up back where they started, with the stock loadout, or with a very slight variation of it. And this leads us to stage 6, Recovery. At stage 6, the demo man has matured into a pretty decent player. They understand their role on the team as a damage dealing class and are able to consistently apply pressure to the enemy and achieve a high DPM. They are able to take out NG nests with ease, and they also understand the strengths and weaknesses of their class. They start taking less unnecessary risks, and they've learned the importance of area control and area denial, and are even able to hold back entire teams single-handedly from time to time. They are masters at locking down choke points and defending objectives, and have started to learn the more nuanced detail of the weapon mechanics, such as the damage ramp up for the sticky bomb launcher. At this stage, they start to explore custom game settings. They optimize their interp settings, customize their hit sound, damage numbers and crosshair, use a custom HUD, and sometimes go a little bit too far. I think I'm just going to tweak the FOV a little bit. Yeah, I'm just going to pop that up. Yeah, that feels pretty good. I think that's better. No, it's because it's a lot easier to be able to see, around you can see spies and stuff. So yeah, that's pretty good. I don't think that looks too ridiculous. It's around this stage that some demos can start to get a little bit cocky again, blaming lag when they miss shots, and getting particularly frustrated with scouts. This might be because they've been playing the game for 2 years and they still don't know how to deal with them. As the newborn demo main grows up to be a big boy demo main, he is now onto stage 7, where he is dedicated to continuing to improve at every aspect of the game. They've now begun using the grenade launcher much more frequently, and some will turn their attention to the iron bomber. With much time and practice, they notice that they are now able to fairly consistently get direct hits with their grenade launcher. This includes consistently hitting faster targets and enemies further away. They are able to predict enemies' movement to a whole new level, getting into their minds and understanding their next move sometimes better than they do. This is the point that flick shots start to make an appearance. Whoa! I have no idea how I just hit that. and they even find that they're able to hit invisible spies from time to time as aiming starts to become instinctual. They grow more confident, but they now have a much more realistic understanding of their skill level. They continue to watch guides and have come across some masters of the Demoman who inspire them to get better. Finally, after long last, they are able to fight back against these pesky scouts, giving them a run for their money. Stage 8 for the Demoman is a thing of beauty. The Demoman is having a great game, playing at the edge of their ability, then suddenly they find themselves instinctively attempting an air shot. And you know what? It was pretty damn close. Then later, the same game, suddenly they hit one. The satisfaction of the air shot is like no other. Every enemy flying through the air is now an opportunity for glory. The Demoman will now go out of their way to get air shots, even if it's not that practical, and some venture onto high tower to look for Trollgers to pluck out of the sky. They gradually move towards a more grenade-centric playstyle. Stickies start to have less significance to them, and some ditch the sticky bomb launcher entirely for their new love. They can hit air shots, they can hit enemies at really awkward angles, and they're masters at juggling their opponents for the two-shot combo. At this stage, they have fully settled on a set of cosmetics that they have now grown to love and cannot be seen without. They normally have the need to stand out and be as brightly coloured as possible to make sure everyone remembers their encounters while they're pub stomping. The most enthusiastic Demomans will also start to collect Demoman merchandise and have them close to hand at all times.
Oh,
Well,
you're
that
a
just
wee
happened.
little
I need
nicer.
healing. Cheers, love.
Killing you in a minute. Oh, they're going to have to glue you. Kaboom!
At stage 9, the Demoman has practically mastered their craft. There is little left for them to learn. They will tend to grow tired of pub stomping, and some will turn their attention to competitive TF2, while others may find enjoyment and further challenges on advanced jump maps. Those keen to push their abilities to the limits may be found grinding out on MGE servers, playing for hours at a time to ingrain in themselves the highest level of mechanical skill. At this stage, they take sticky jumping to the next level and are able to perform incredibly difficult maneuvers, such as the vertical pogo that is useless for normal gameplay but demonstrates a mastery of the stickies. They are insanely mobile when playing in pubs, getting from one side of the map to the other in seconds, and find new undiscovered ways to move around maps, making it look super stylish in the process. Every grenade that's shot is precise and calculated and devastating. This Demoman is truly a force to be reckoned with. At stage 10, the Demoman is not only a master of the Demoman, but they have a pretty good understanding of every aspect of the game and are even able to play at a pretty high level on several other classes. But they will always feel the most at home and be the most effective and deadly with the Demoman. When in full try-hard mode, they are truly devastating, but at this point, they very rarely play the game in this way anymore. In fact, for the most part, even using the grenade launcher is kind of beneath them now. They revert back to playing the game more casually again, and they tend to mess about whenever playing in pubs, going for fun melee kills or satisfying air shots. They can often be found in high tower going for market garden kills and will forever be bitter at the fact that the soldier has a market gardener and they don't. At stage 10, the Demoman is confident and at peace with their ability. However, to get to this point, they may have lost some sanity along the way. Some may even start to take on the personality of the Demoman himself, and most of them, more often than not, will most certainly be drunk. Thank you so much to everyone who helped me make this video. There's too many people to mention, but check out the description below for all the talented SFM artists and other people who helped me out. Thanks to Hamaji Neo for being cool with me making this video. I tried to be true to your format and do it justice. I hope you enjoyed it. And thank you to everyone for watching. I really appreciate your support. We're on the road to 100k subs. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe and leave a comment below if you think I've missed anything out. I'll see you guys in the next video.